I'm going to pull up this story. This is from the Daily Wire. Majority of Democrats back Trudeau's crackdown, freezing bank account of truckers. There's something really important here. Ian was just saying that he doesn't think Donald Trump could win the presidency because they're going to be ready for him, right?
Yeah.
So using the same strategy twice. The previous context, for those that may have missed it, we're talking about the Freedom Convoy in Canada. We're talking about how Trudeau cracks down. Then the U.S. is planning this convoy. And Ian, you were saying that they're going to be ready for the U.S. truckers. So they can't use the same strategy. They're going to be ready for Donald Trump. He can't use the same strategy. But there's one thing that I think does that you may overlook in this regard. What if instead of 1,000 or 500 trucks coming to D.C. like in Canada, it was 50,000? Now it was reported there was 50,000 truckers protesting. I don't think there was that many trucks. I think that was probably misreported. But let's say that D.C. does plan for this, and they say we're going to handle it. 500 trucks, no problem. But then 50,000 trucks from every angle come in. You can't handle that. There's no planning for that.
That would be a different plan.
So let me show you this. In the story about Democrat support for Trudeau, they say the poll shows 55% of general election voters disapprove of Trudeau's handling of the protesters. 35% approve. That is to say, the majority of people don't like the draconian powers. Or take a look at this. Democrats, 65% approval. Republicans, 87% disapproval. And independents, 74% disapproval. That is to say, Republicans say no to Trudeau. Unaffiliated voters say no to Trudeau. It is only the Democrat base that about 2/3 support what Trudeau is doing with these draconian powers. These metrics are reflected in basically everything. When we pull up Civic's polling data, is the economy good? Independent voters, 2-1 say no. Republicans, 10-1 say no. Democrats, 2-1 say it's great. Now, how is that possible? It's an inversion. The fact is, independent voters and Republicans, the plurality of the majority of people in this country, do not live in the crackpot cult reality that the Democrats live in. So if Donald Trump does run again, they can plan any shadow campaign or whatever fortification they want. But when 10 times as many people are storming through the gates, no amount of planning will stop that man.
Yeah, the independence there is really important because that's your proxy, right? I mean, those are the people that aren't really affiliated. I mean, if they're siding with Republicans, I mean, not even siding with them, but if that's the way they're perceiving reality,
right?
But this is all these represent the chasm, right? The chasm that we're talking about. We kind of forked at a certain point culturally in this country, and the chasm is just so great. You might try to holler at somebody way over there, and it's just like, what's the point? I mean, they're not even going to understand the language that I'm speaking right now. Yeah, and that's scary. But to your point, like I don't know how we're going to remedy that cultural problem that we're experiencing. The chasm's just too wide.
I think that's making me think of that mentality, that combat mentality versus the scientific mentality. And so many people are in combat mentality that if you try and speak to them scientifically with like facts and evidence, they don't get it. It's too big of a deal for them to think about. They got to act now. It's like life or death to these people. So if you can understand that before you start communicating with them, and for them it's a big deal. Maybe for you it's not. I mean, obviously I'm not freaked out by this stuff, but if you understand it's same with talking with a kid too. If you understand why something's such a big deal to them, it's a lot easier to communicate with them about it.